Authority for February 10th. If we could get a roll call, please, Jay.
Jeff Griffin. Here. Bill Watland.
Here.
Dee Dee Patterson.
Here.
Gary Hauk.
Here.
John Kramer.
Here.
Chris Anson.
Here.
Susan Hammond.
Here.
Tim Poplin. Shane Fisher.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Consideration and action of consent agenda.
Move to approve. Second.
Roll call, please, Jay.
Jeff Griffin.
Yes.
Bill Watland.
Yes.
Dee Dee Patterson.
Yes.
Gary Hauk.
Yes.
John Kramer.
Yes.
Chris Anson.
Yes.
Shane Fisher.
Here. Oh, I get to vote on this one. That's right.
You do.
Yes. I forgot about that. I was all excited. Are there any appearances or petitions from the audience for the airport authority? If not, under current business, number 1, consideration possible action to approve the transfer of the ground lease for hangar number 10, contingent upon the sale of the hangar by the Taylor family within the next 6 months.
And based on reviewing the information, this would be the same lease as currently held by the Taylors.
Yes,
That transfer.
and that was what we discussed at the
Advisory board meeting. Move to approve.
Second.
Roll call, please, Jay.
Jeff Griffin.
Yes.
Bill Watland.
Yes.
Dee Dee Patterson.
Yes.
Gary Hauk.
Yes.
John Kramer.
Yes.
Chris Anson.
Yes.
Shane Fisher.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Do I have a motion?
Hey.
Miss Hammond would like to.
Oh, I'm sorry. Susan Hammond. I beg your pardon.
She just started last week. You may not.
I'm back.
Do I have a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? If we can now call to order the Seminole Gas Authority. Roll call, please, Jay.
John Kramer.
Here.
Susan Hammond.
Here.
Dee Dee Patterson.
Here.
Bill Watland.
Here.
Jeff Griffin.
Here.
Gary Hauk.
Here.
Tim Poplin. Chris Anson.
Here.
Shane Fisher.
Here.
We have a quorum.
The consideration and action of consent agenda.
Move to approve.
Second.
Roll call, please, Jay.
John Kramer.
Yes.
Susan Hammond.
Yes.
Dee Dee Patterson.
Yes.
Bill Watland.
Yes.
Jeff Griffin.
Yes.
Gary Hauk.
Yes.
Chris Anson.
Yes.
Shane Fisher.
Yes.
We have a quorum. Sorry, Pat. Motion passes.
I just throws you off when I vote.
We're all
doesn't it?
deceiving.
Are there any appearances or petitions from the audience for the Gas Authority? If not, do I have a motion for adjournment?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? We'll now call to order the Utilities Authority. Roll call, please, Jay.
Susan Hammond.
Here.
John Kramer.
Here.
Chris Anson.
Here.
Bill Watland.
Here.
Jeff Griffin.
Here.
Tim Poplin. Gary Hauk.
Here.
Dee Dee Patterson.
Here.
Shane Fisher.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Consideration and action of consent agenda.
Move its approval.
Second.
Roll call, please, Jay.
Susan Hammond.
Yes.
John Kramer.
Yes.
Chris Anson.
Yes.
Bill Watland.
Yes.
Jeff Griffin.
Yes.
Gary Hauk.
Yes.
Dee Dee Patterson.
Yes.
Shane Fisher.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Are there any appearances or petitions from the audience for the Utilities Authority? Under current business, number 1, consideration and possible action to approve the CPI rate increase adjustment of 1.7% with WCA of Oklahoma LLC to be effective beginning May 1st, 2015 regarding the collection and disposal of solid waste.
Move to approve. It's just,
Let's talk about it a little bit.
it's a contract, same thing.
Is it?
Yeah, it's built into the contract. We do it regardless.
Well, there you go.
So with that, Steve, though, you might explain that, you know, they do use an index to look at and just maybe explain it to everyone.
That's the sum of it is we use, we've contracted with WCA for many years. In their contract, they are allowed to increase the price based upon the Consumer Price Index, or CPI. This year, it was 1.7% increase, and so they've come to you requesting that they be allowed to do that. Contractually, I think we're somewhat obligated. It's as much a courtesy as it is anything.
Never exceed
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please, Jay.
Susan Hammond,
Yes.
John Kramer,
Yes.
Chris Anson,
Yes.
Bill Wantland,
Yes.
Jeff Griffin,
Yes.
Gary Hout,
Yes.
Dee Dee Patterson,
Yes.
Shane Fisher.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Do I have a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? If we could now call to order the Seminole City Council meeting. Roll call, please, Jay.
Dee Dee Patterson,
Here.
Chris Anson,
Here.
Bill Wantland,
Here.
Susan Hammond,
Here.
Tim Poplin, Gary Hout,
Here.
John Kramer,
Here.
Jeff Griffin,
Here.
Shane Fisher.
Here.
We have a quorum.
If you could please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Bill, if you could be kind enough to lead us in prayer, please.
Isaka mesi en miska hanga gigodai. Po makasaka ne kwiche de medo moment po tolofa Seminole moment poestia mulgen. Idinokichikidis. Po mochimi isaka mesi anagitskas. O God, whose mercies cannot be numbered, accept our prayer of thanks for the city of Seminole and for all our people. Let us love one another, for you, God, are love. Amen.
I believe under awards and presentations. We have an award to Miss Sharon Emmett. Is that correct?
Yes.
She is now, please,
Sharon, you want to come on up?
and if you would all please let us recognize our new certified floodplain manager, Sharon Emmett.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you. Didn't really see that one coming, did you? I would like to now open the public hearing. Open the public hearing to enable comments from members of the public and the city staff regarding the proposed overlay of Union Street and to provide explanation of probable impacts on the community should the overlay project be funded.
Go ahead.
That would be our new plane manager right there.
This is actually to close out the grant that overlaid Union Street. The City of Seminole applied for and was awarded Community Development Block Grant in 2013 for the purpose of rehabilitation of several streets, namely Union, Cleary, Sampson, Killingsworth, part of Killingsworth, Rhode Island, and Carter Road. When the construction bids came in, it was noted that only one street could be rehabilitated for the funds available, and that was Union Street. The project did not result in the displacement of any residents on Union or anyone else in the vicinity. The CDBG guidelines are very specific and state that the project must benefit at least 51% of the residents who are low to moderate income in that area, and we did meet that threshold. The project went very well. City staff, we are working towards utilizing the grant in the future to possibly take care of some of the other streets that were mentioned and maybe a couple more that we've got on our list. CDBG funds were matched by city funds from the sales tax that was dedicated to the improvements for city streets. If anybody has any questions about the CDBG grant or the project or any future projects, I would love to hear any comments. And hopefully in the future we'll be applying for some more money to redo some more city streets.
Do I have any questions concerning the Union Street overlay project? If not, we'll go ahead and close the,
Thank you.
thank you. Next is consideration and action of consent agenda.
Move to approve.
Second.
Roll call, please, Jay.
Dee Dee Patterson,
Yes.
Chris Anson,
Yes.
Bill Wantland,
Yes.
Susan Hammond,
Yes.
Gary Hauk,
Yes.
John Kramer.
Yes.
Jeff Griffin.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Under appearances or petitions from the audience, would anyone like to appear before the council for the city council meeting? Under approval and acceptances, number 1, resolution, consideration possible action to approve resolution number 2015-2, a resolution allowing the sale, possession, and consumption of wine and Low Point beer on April 4th, 2015, from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. in conjunction with the Made in Oklahoma Festival.
That hasn't been a problem in the past. We haven't had any problem.
No.
I move to approve. Second.
Roll call, please, Jay.
Dee Dee Patterson,
Yes.
Chris Anson,
Yes.
Bill Wantland,
Yes.
Susan Hammond,
Yes.
Gary Hauk,
No.
John Kramer,
Yes.
Jeff Griffin.
No.
Motion passes.
Current business, number 2, consideration and possible action to approve a non-conforming use permit number 2015-1 to the Grisso Mansion located at 612 East Wrangler as unanimously recommended by the Planning Commission at its February 3rd, 2015 meeting.
I believe Chris Anson could give you more detail than I can. He has been, along with a lot of the homeowners in the area, have been working with the Seminole Nation for many months, if not years now. I think, what are we into, 2 years? Is Stephanie here? Yeah. They have been working on some agreement, and they have come to a resolution for the most part. I think we have one dissenter that kind of was reserved his approval, but the Planning Commission heard it. Lots of discussion, lots of excellent discussion, and ultimately they agreed unanimously, the Planning Commission I'm speaking of, agreed unanimously to forward this to you for approval. So if you want some more detail, I know Sharon's got it in front of her, and she can probably spout it off. And you've got several homeowners here to also supplement.
I got a question. As far as traffic control, I mean, when you have all those cars coming out onto the highway, do y'all have any plans or anything to kind of control the traffic as it's coming out?
Well, we try to do that on a event basis, and it's what we try to do is we try to make it to where they flow out more one at a time instead of just all at once. And the way our drive is designed, it really doesn't allow for just flooding of cars out. They usually just kind of exit one at a time. So we haven't seen a lot of traffic on Highway 9 there in front of the property. Even when we've had big events, we parked some around back and valet parked them, and then we parked some along the front. And usually most of our events, it doesn't end all at once and everybody leaves all at once. They usually kind of go out one at a time anyway.
And of
So
course,
far we haven't had a problem.
and of course, there's no parking on the median.
Right.
You know,
Oh,
okay.
yeah, right. We don't park anyone out on the street, on the shoulder. We keep them all on the property.
And one other thing, if you have an event and there is liquor sold, is there anyone there to regulate as far as someone drinking or how much they drink, or kind of to keep an eye on things, to keep someone from getting in a car or driving off or something? I mean, this can happen anywhere, I know, but this is kind of one of my concerns.
Well, we have each event, anyone that books an event there, we have them sign a contract. And in that contract, if they're to have alcohol at the event, like at a wedding, they have to provide a licensed person who can pour alcohol.
Okay.
And so usually, if it's a big event, we require them to have security
Okay.
there. We've had some big events in the past. you know, any large events, they're required to do that. And have the proper license too.
I know also one of the goals is to try to get access from Highway 9 to the west side of the property. I know you'll have to deal with the state and do some other things, but is there a goal, some time frame you have set within a time period to try?
Well, we're going to seek to do that as quick as we can. We learned just here recently that actually there's a strip there just to the west of us that it's actually in between us and the SEDC property. That's not owned by the SEDC, it's owned by the former owners of that property. So we're gonna reach out to them and see if we can work out some kind of arrangement to either purchase the property or utilize it.
Any other questions?
There's some talk of a new entrance and so on. Is that in the making?
Yeah, that's what we just talked about. On the very west side of the property, there's an easement right there.
Okay, I did not understand. Okay.
Any other questions?
Mr. Mayor, I may want to just make a comment. This is kind of an unusual agenda item because the Planning Commission has exclusive authority to grant this nonconforming use by permit, which they have already done. But my understanding is that they have asked the council to ratify this particular decision just because of the interest that it's generated. So that's just something that, for the council's information. One of the things that makes this unique is that under the nonconforming use ordinance, one of the kind of unique aspects of this is that agreements can be reached between the city and property owners for these nonconforming uses. And one of the things, I guess, to distinguish between a rezone and a nonconforming use is that a rezone is a permanent type action. It flows with the change of the property of ownership, where a nonconforming use does not. So I just want to make that information available to the council.
Well, and I want to thank all the property owners and the staff at the mansion who worked together to come up with this, because I think it's fairly amicable, and I think it went rather smoothly, and I want to thank all of those involved. And I would motion to approve.
Second.
Roll call, please, Jeff.
Dee Dee Patterson,
Yes.
Chris Anson,
Yes.
Bill Wantland,
Yes.
Susan Hammond,
Yes.
Gary Hauk,
Yes.
John Kramer.
Yes.
Jeff Griffin.
Yes.
Motion passes.
You've got another coming in. Tim
And
got
Tim
here.
Pomplin.
Yes, sir. I've read it. I had a blowout coming in at Astor this afternoon. I'm sorry I was late, but I've read it.
On number 3, am I missing that on 3? Consideration possible action to approve allowing the Seminole Chamber of Commerce to host the annual Made in Oklahoma Festival on Main Street and to close Main Street from 4 p.m. on Friday, April 3rd through Saturday evening.
Move to approve.
Second.
Roll call, please, Jay.
Dee Dee Patterson,
Yes.
Chris Anson,
Yes.
Bill Wantland,
Yes.
Susan Hammond.
Well, I'm going to sneak in a question. There was no time on Saturday evening, you know. When does it usually shut down? Okay. Listen.
I'll be glad to speak to that, sir.
Okay.
Sorry, I thought that one was going to be the more difficult one.
Yeah.
The event actually runs from 10 a.m. until 5 p.m.
Okay.
Most vendors start kind of packing up about 4 or 4:30, depending on if they've sold out or how things are going. The last thing usually to come out is our entertainment. And so Tommy Sneed with TNT Sound and Stage does their big stage. And so that's the last thing to kind of pull out. And generally, I mean, we ask that it stays closed until midnight, but it's not ever that late. I mean, he is, you know, as soon as everybody's out of his way, he hauls that trailer out and he's gone. So I would say 6 or 7, we have all the trash gone and tables and tents are all gathered, and so.
How many vendors do we have? Do we know yet?
No, we've already got over 60. I mean, generally, like the last couple of years, we've had at or above 100. And so, that's individual unique vendors, including everything. So,
Okay. Thanks.
thank you.
Yeah, oh, I get to vote now.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Thank you. Tim Poplin.
Yes.
Gary Hauk.
Yes.
John Kramer.
Yes.
Jeff Griffin.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Number 4, consideration possible action to approve closing out the CDBG grant number 11564, CDBG 13, Community Revitalization, as grant requirements have been completed and contractor invoices have been approved.
Move to approve.
Second.
Roll call, please, Jay.
Dee Patterson.
Yes.
Chris Anson.
Yes.
Bill Wantland.
Yes.
Susan Hammond.
Yes.
Tim Poplin.
Yes.
Gary Hauk.
Yes.
John Kramer.
Yes.
Jeff Griffin.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Consideration and possible action to approve the agreement for the sub-grant of the Emergency Management Performance Grant Program funds for 2015 in the amount of $15,000.
And this is to be used in what manner? For
This is one we've gotten since Herb Gunner was here on the emergency management side. It does a number of things, some of which is the salary that we compensate for the emergency management, but things, computers, any software for weather watching. I can't recall that we've ever spent any money out of it for tornado sirens, but those are the types of things that we're looking for.
And it is also a matching grant, isn't that correct?
Yes.
Move to approve.
Second.
Roll call, please, Jay.
Dee Patterson.
Yes.
Chris Anson.
Yes.
Bill Wantland.
Yes.
Susan Hammond.
Yes.
Tim Poplin.
Yes.
Gary Hauk.
yes.
John Kramer.
Yes.
Jeff Griffin.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Under reports, city attorney,
Nothing.
city manager,
I have nothing.
Ward 1, Ms. Hammond.
Yes, yes. I'm very glad to be back on the council. Remember that. And I just want to encourage the citizens of Seminole to come out and vote on March the 3rd. And of course, we've all voted today, and to exercise this special right that we have. That's it. That's my mouthful.
Mr. Wantland.
I just, again, want to thank our city officials and employees for all that they do for this community. It never ceases to amaze me how hard everyone works and what they do, and we're blessed to be here.
Ward 2, Gary Hauk.
As Bill would say, we have some great city employees, but we also have some great citizens. I mean, without you, say it every time, without you, there's no softball field, there's no wellness center. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that the citizens have voted for. And because of you, our town is getting better.
John Kramer.
I have nothing.
Jeff Griffin.
Well, I'd just like to remind everyone that, due to the tragedy that happened with the highway patrol troopers, that, just pay attention when we're passing emergency vehicles that are on the shoulder, as well as our city employees that are sometimes picking up trash or doing other jobs beside. We need to pay attention to that as well.
Tim Poplin.
I apologize for being late. It was just something that happened. There's probably something that y'all talked about that I didn't, but on the Carson Drive, did y'all bring that up, Mr. Saxon, on the memorandum that I got?
No, sir, that's coming in the future.
Okay. Well, I'll have something to add to that, but
Okay.
I mean, it's nice to have these people out here, and I appreciate everybody coming tonight.
Ward 4, Chris Anson.
Only thing that people have mentioned to me is the stoplights. Do we have an update as to where we're at on that?
They should begin next week, right?
They've already completed the boards.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just waiting on
We're-
more of the structures.
Okay. I was gone last week, so if they were doing something, I missed it.
Dee Dee Patterson.
It's good to see this many people out that's concerned, and I'm glad that you came to a reasonable agreement. I think we can, if we work together, we can make it work.
Here, here.
And we appreciate you. Thank you.
Do I have a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Adjourned.